I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Lori Swan, and I hope you guys are all doing well. If you are in the live chat, we do ask that you keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there tonight to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platforms we're utilizing tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, so you know when we go live. So I'm with my partner in crime, Ernie Beware. Ernie.
What's going on, everyone? How's everybody doing tonight? I'm a little grumpy tonight. As you can tell, my voice is not the best. And yeah, so I might be spewing out some mouth vomit here in a minute. So you'll be first to hear it.
That's right. Well, we hope that you are, you feel better quick. I'm glad that you're with us.
Well, of course. As I talked to you beforehand, I'm an excuse taker. I'm be on my deathbed and still work.
I want to put it on the record. I did offer you the night off.
Yes, you did. And what did I say?
Okay. You said I'll be fine by then. Now, you see what he's doing here, guys? All these times that I'm sick and I say I can't come live, now he's going to be like, well, I was sick and I came live.
Well, when you have stuff coming out of every orifice of your body, I mean... What's your excuse?
I guess I don't have one. I guess I don't. I guess I do not have.
I can't be laughing right now, man.
So, all right, guys. So we've been following quite a few things that have been going on in this world. It's really hard to keep track of everything, but we try to bring you the creme de la creme of information that we see for the day. Yesterday, was it yesterday, day before? I don't even remember now. I came live and I was talking to you guys about how Chrislam has now been officially declared the religion of the New World Order by the Pope and by the Imam. And so by decree that has been signed. I also told you about the red heifers that have landed in Israel. I also showed you a video showing that the here we go, altar has already been built and already been consecrated, already been blessed, and the priests are ready to go. So, I mean, things are moving forward very quickly. And so I get Kenneth messaged me, I don't know, last night, early this morning, talking to me about, hey, are you seeing what's going on with Russia? And I was like, Russia, what's going on now? And Ernie, the only thing that comes to my mind is Dudeman, the Dudeman prophecy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're screwed.
And we're going to tell you why. So, you know, for you guys that don't know who the Dudeman prophecy is, Dmitry Dudeman he came to the United States from his country, forgot where it was, Croatia, I think it was. He was persecuted over there for trying to give Bibles to the Christians. And he was tortured. And he came over to America, and God showed him the prophecy of what is going to happen to America, that we are going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Said that the Russians and countries from the South. Now, I first heard about this prophecy back in 2014. And I really thought to me, I kind of giggled and thought to myself, what are you talking about? Countries from the South. But we didn't have what's going on in the country today. We didn't have the illegal aliens, or it wasn't. Let me rephrase that. We did have the illegal aliens, but it wasn't like it is today. It was mostly Mexicans that would come up through the southern border. But now, and we're going to get into that later on in the show, but now there's other countries that are coming in that kind of makes us go, maybe Dudeman's prophecy really was or really is going to come to fruition, which to me, Ernie, listening to the prophecy, God's not a liar, right?
No, never lied.
Yeah. So,
we hear a lot of prophecies that turn out to be false. And, this is one that has stood the test of time. And being able to be alive to witness it right now is quite fascinating.
Yeah. One of the countries that Dudeman prophesied that was going to help Russia come through and take over America was Venezuela. If you guys don't know, we just talked about how Russia and Venezuela was doing war games down in the southern Atlantic Ocean, and things were happening, and it was just an auspicious time. Why would Putin take away from the things that are happening in the Ukraine to go down there and play war games? I don't know. Makes you wonder. So here's our first article I'm going to pull up. This one talks about Russia reportedly preparing for mobilization. Russia authorities are moving closer to announcing a general mobilization. The State Duma of Russian Federation introduced the concepts of mobilization, martial law, and wartime to the Russian criminal code and imposed a penalty up to 10 years in prison for voluntary surrender. A plenary session held on September 20th, which is today, the Russian State Duma adopted amendments to the criminal code of the Russian Federation in the second and third readings. They proposed to increase liability for certain crimes against military service. New concepts have been introduced to the criminal code: voluntary surrender, looting, mobilization, martial law, and wartime. The decision was taken unanimously. The parliamentary session was broadcasted on the website of the Russian State Duma. Specifically, in the article on aggravating circumstances, the deputies replaced the words "in conditions of armed conflict or hostilities" with "during the period of mobilization or martial law," in wartime or conditions of armed conflict or hostilities. Article on looting and voluntary surrender were added to the criminal code. For surrender, one faces 3 to 10 years in prison if there's no signs of treason. for looting, up to 15 years in prison. The punishment for the unauthorized abandonment of a unit during mobilization and martial law has also been made more severe. For more than a month AWOL, they will be assigned 5 to 10 years in prison. Previously, it was up to 5. Failure to comply with the order during martial law or refusal to participate in hostilities will be punished with 2 to 3 years of imprisonment. Russian reservists called up for military training will be criminally liable on an equal basis with contract soldiers and conscripts for failure to appear or desertion. In addition, the deputies introduced several new articles on the non-execution of the state defense order in violation of the terms of the state contract. On September 21st, the bill will be submitted for approval by the Federation Council. Now, in addition to this, now Putin was supposed to come live and talk to his people tonight. We have also got we've got I don't know how that happened. We got information that has been postponed. Now I'm not sure for how long, but it has been postponed. But anyway, so let me pull up the one where it says postponement.
My question is it been air quotes postponed, or do you think they did something in private?
It's not above suspicion that there was a backroom deal. Russia releases information that Russia wants released. Yeah, they're not under no obligation to keep the rest of the world informed of what they do. So
exactly.
I don't know. It says here that Putin delays surprise speech. Ukraine allies say they will not accept referendums in the Russian-held areas. Russian-backed officials in several parts of Ukraine have announced plans to hold referenda on joining Russia. Ukraine has slammed the upcoming votes as fake attempt to legitimize Russia's invasion and slammed the prospect of sham ballots. Where have we heard that before? Russian President Vladimir Putin has called on Russian producers of military equipment to up their production and supplies to Russian troops. Hold on a second. Putin was also set to give a major speech to the country on Tuesday, only to later postpone it until Wednesday without explanation. So I guess it hasn't been one second. I guess it has not been officially, said that it's not going to happen. It's just going to be a day later.
Well, I guess we just have to wait and see.
Exactly. Give me a second here.
He's going to be moving his entire army into Ukraine, and that's not good. And we already know what Biden said the other day, our potato in chief.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Taiwan?
Yep.
Well, yeah, he did say that we were, should China decide to invade Taiwan, that we would, come to their defense. The thing of it is that's been our policy for decades. We've been the Santa Claus, the protector of the world for however long. It has to stop. We're not the defenders of the planet, And where does he think he's going to get this money?
You think he's going to get it from us, but with the economy the way it is right now, good luck.
Exactly. Good luck with that. Exactly. So they have put it off. Monday, Russian troops struck a nuclear power plant in the country's southern, I cannot pronounce that, of the Ukraine. But while its building sustained damage, its reactors are function normally, Ukrainian state energy officials said. Now, here's the thing about that, guys, is I've heard two sides of the story. I've heard Russian troops struck the nuclear power plant. I also heard that Ukraine struck it themselves. So
Ukraine, I like that.
Ukraine. I don't even know what to call them anymore. I don't even know. I just I saw a meme the other day, and it really tickled me. It said, These new IRS, armed IRS officials that the U.S. government is trying to implement or trying to hire are hiring. I think their first tour of duty should be go over to the Ukraine because I'm sure they could find a lot of our tax money over there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but they're not prepared to audit them. Guarantee you that much.
Good Lord. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what false flag would have to there have to be to take our mind off of that one? Phew.
It just reminds me of Jesus sending the pigs off the cliff.
Right?
I mean, did I say that out loud?
Here's a Twitter that went out, a tweet that went out. It says there are unconfirmed, and I'm going to put emphasis on this, unconfirmed reports that after 23:59 Moscow local time tonight, which I believe has already taken place because they're hours and hours ahead of us. It will be illegal for military-aged men between the ages of 18 and 65 to leave Russia and all territories occupied by the Russian Federation. They are, I believe, they are going to implement a nation or a territory-wide, what is it called? Draft. They're going to pull all these. They're going to pull all these people, these 18 to 65 aged men, and prepare them for what? What are they preparing them for? Do they really need them over in the Ukraine? Where are they sending them?
Doesn't Russia have one of the largest armies in the world?
Next to China.
Yeah, I mean, they're not necessarily everywhere like the U.S. So what do they need them for?
Yeah,
exactly. They can take over Ukraine with a fraction of what they have right now.
Yeah, something in me, my spirit's telling me this has nothing to do with the Ukraine whatsoever.
No, I think they're preparing for something more destructive and something that is going to change the course of history.
Exactly. Now, we're going to get into that in just a moment. I want to continue with that. But you sent me something, and you said that, which again brought me back to Dudeman. You said that there was reports that Russians and Georgians were crossing the U.S.-Mexico border in the darkness of night.
Yes, I stumbled across this video today, and since I've been sick, I really haven't had the chance to do much research, but I definitely want to hear what chat has to say and whether or not they've heard anything about this. Because if this is the case, and they're being mobilized all around the country, I mean, these are men and women from foreign nations that are ripe for being in the military. And if this is true, we have a problem on our hands.
Exactly. Let's see. I did not have a chance to listen to it. It is 30 minutes long, but she does have a guest on to talk about this. So I thought we would listen in on that. Here we go.
My guest, Marty from Arizona. Ooh, let me get my settings right. There it is. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself? Good to see you again.
I am great. Yes. So we met by chance when I was covering a story in Arizona last year. You said, hey, I'm going down to the border, fairly often if you want to tag along and look at what we're capturing. Well, then today you sent me these images of some of the people that you have photographed getting apprehended by Border Patrol. I mean, you can see this guy right here is obviously not Mexican. Tell me what you learned from the sheriff and Border Patrol about these guys.
When I got down there, I was able to embed with Border Patrol and the sheriff. It was late one night, about 10 p.m. I was able to encounter 10 of these males coming across the border. What they did is they just come across the border and they give themselves up. There was a joint operation with the Border Patrol and the sheriff. Upon a closer visit with what was going on, the sheriff did let me know that these are Georgians that are right next to Russia. And then they were asked for passports, and they were able to show that they had Russian passports. There's about 10 of them, all military-age men, no females, no children. I mean, they were pretty sketchy looking. Probably.
Sorry, are you there? Sorry, I was.
I'm here.
Okay, there you are. I was trying to play the video and listen to you, but apparently we can only do either or. So what were you saying?
So the illegal border crossers came across. They're apprehended. They're processed on the site, and the Border Patrol brought in all of their vans, and all of the illegal crossers were then put in the vans. And according to the sheriff and the Border Patrol, they got brought in that night to a Yuma processing center. From there, they get fingerprinted, and then they get released into our country.
Wow. That's crazy. So how often, I mean, you head down there every few months, I believe. And where exactly do these people come from? You have details on how they kind of get to Mexico and then to the US.
So I met people from Haiti. I met Haitians. I met Cubans. I met Mexicans. I was able to interact very briefly with the Georgians or Russians, whichever they were. They come into Mexico right there, right across the border from the airport in Yuma. And the people that I saw come across had nice clothes on. They had brand new shoes on. The families that I did see didn't look like they just made a trek across Mexico. They're impeccably dressed, new shoes, no dust. They had backpacks, newer clothes. And what they do is they come into the airport there, and then they get a cab or transportation to the border on that. They get dropped off probably 500 to 1,000 yards from the border, from the opening of the wall there in Los Abogados at the Las Morelos Dam in Yuma, because it's wide open.
So this is the far west corner of Arizona. It's at the corner of Mexico, Arizona, and California.
Correct. The river comes right through there, and so what they do is they will cross. There's an area where they can cross over a bridge that's wide open. It's been there probably 50 years. The dam is older. I think it was built in the 60s, or 50s, and so they come across the border. They come across the bridge, and then they enter the border, and then they just come in droves. I mean, they're coming all day long. They're starting early in the morning, and they come across. And I met Haitians, Cubans, Mexicans, other Europeans, the Russians / Georgians, not sure who they are. And they come into the staging area, and that's where they get they have the water stations and the porta potties there, and they get processed. Border Patrol, they're doing the best they can. I mean, they're pretty stressed out.
So if these are, I don't know, just innocent people looking for a better life, why are they military-age men coming in the darkness of night? That's my question. And then, oops, they get caught by Border Patrol. And then, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for a better life. I just think this is strange. I want to play a couple of the clips that you have here.
So Border Patrol's picking them up. They got two Border Patrol vehicles here, and they have a sheriff back there. Again, the sheriff and the Border Patrol work very well down in this area together. So it's definitely a multi-organization group here working together. It's nice to see. So again, these are all.
I mean, no families, no kids, no wives that these men are trying to bring to a better life. Why'd you leave your wives behind if you're coming to America to seek a better life? But these men ditched their families in Eastern Europe and came to the U.S. I'm just wondering why. What are the intentions of all these people? We hope, if we are getting this massive influx, year to date, from Border Patrol numbers, is over 2 million migrant encounters at the U.S. southern border just in the 2022 Border Patrol year, which Border Patrol has weird years that end in September. But anyway, over 2 million people. You hope, okay, if I'm getting 2 million fellow countrymen, I just hope that they're big patriots who are here because they just love what they see, what Americans stand for, and they want to be patriots like us. We hope that, but are we being secretly invaded? That's what we don't know. Now, interestingly, Marty, the Guardian out of the UK is breaking it down just how many Russians are coming to the US. 8,000 right here. An article earlier this year from the Guardian. Quote, we had no choice. Over 8,000 Russians seek U.S. refuge in a 6-month period. And they have here, it says more than 8,600 Russians sought refuge on the U.S. border with Mexico from August through January of 2022, ending in January of 2022. 8,000. So even before the Russia-Ukraine war started, Russians were fleeing Russia like crazy, coming to U.S. Are they fleeing Putin's oppression and looking for liberty in America and wanting to be proud Americans? Or are they pro-Putin, invading America to take us over from within?
All right, that's a very good question. That's one that we've asked many times. I guess the proper PC term is migrants. Now they're not illegals, even though they are illegal, but we're not supposed to say it.
Man, who cares what they say? They're immigrants, they're legals, whatever.
The thing is,
you come in our country without any
yes.
documentation or permission, you're in this country illegal. Simple as that.
Exactly. I find it funny that they were sent up to Martha's Vineyard, to a sanctuary, a place that they voted. The people of Martha's Vineyard voted for their little neck of the woods to be a sanctuary city, a sanctuary for these people. And as soon as they got there, all hell broke loose. So I guess you're a sanctuary city until you actually have to sanctuary somebody.
Right, exactly. And you know what? Going along the lines of that, Kenneth asked a very good question earlier. He asked, wasn't there Chinese training in Canada a while back?
Yes.
And yes, they were.
Yes.
So I think all of this could be working hand in hand. We already know that both of them are in cahoots with each other. They're both.
Well, there was also Chinese back in, I don't remember the time. I know it was 14 or 15. We allowed Chinese troops to have boots on the ground in Hawaii. We actually, for the first time, allowed them to get off their little tugboats there and come on land and actually train on Hawaii, which I thought at the time was the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, yeah. Look at where we are right now.
Right.
I mean, China, Russia, and a few others are setting up their own central bank and their own currency. And look what's going on in our border.
Exactly.
They opened our border to all of these people from other countries coming in, and look who's sneaking in with them.
Right. Yeah. And this is a question that we've asked many, many times. And I know the people in chat, I know people are going to be hearing this afterwards. I know across social media, we've asked the same thing, is we see these pictures of these people, these very, very well, very healthy young men. I'm trying to figure out even how to say it. They're not sickly. They're not emaciated. They are very healthy, strong, burly men coming over here and saying, we're afraid to be in our country. Can we come here and take up residence? Or can we, squat here for a while?
I mean, I know you've seen the video of the two Russians fighting the bear.
Yeah.
Working out. I mean, come on now.
Right. and yes, there are Chinese troops in the United States, but there's also Russian troops. Russian troops have been confirmed in the United States. Tens of thousands of foreign troops inside the United States. Russian troops are on American soil to train with FEMA. Rumors about foreign soldiers being spotted on U.S. military bases began circulating online earlier this week. The claims quickly went viral. Ministry of the Russian Federation for Civil Defense release stated the troops are here as part of an exchange of experts project. I believe this was from back in, get a date on it because I think I know when it was. I believe this was 14 or 15. Again, those years always pop in. Those are my very active years of me getting fountains of information. They brought them over here. They were training with FEMA. There is a little town. I believe it's in the southeast. I'm not sure exactly where it is. I'm going to say Tennessee. That the United States military built to help train Russian troops in urban combat. It's an entire city complete with buildings and just streets. And I mean, they spent a lot of money creating this entire infrastructure, the city. And the problem with this is, Ernie, is that they never left. You know what? I'm going to say it was before 2014 because, and I'm going to say why. April of 2014 was the Bunkerville standoff with the in was it Nevada with the Bundys, and during that time, Russian troops, Russian trained military, they had their patches and everything, were seen surrounding the perimeter of the Bundy house. So that was April of 2014. So this was prior to that.
Yeah. We sometimes got to look back in the past to see what's going on in the present and predict the future.
Exactly. Right around the same time, Obamacare put into place ICD-9 codes for what was it? ICD-9 codes legalized executions by beheadings, and that came about the same time. We had a whistleblower who, a very young man down in Georgia, the state of Georgia, not the country of Georgia, down in the state of Georgia, where the guillotines had been stored initially, saying that the Russian troops were there because they were being trained on how to work the guillotine. If you guys remember correctly, back in 2013, Obama did what we now refer to as the litmus test. He brought all of his high-ranking generals into his office and asked them, if I were to give the order for you to fire on American citizens, would you carry out that order? And if they said yes, they were allowed to stay. If they said no, they were either fired or forced out of their position. One general was so adamant that he was going to stay that they completely ruined his life. It was revealed falsely. He was cheating on his wife, and they had a drug and a gambling problem. The guy ended up resigning his position, but that's what they resorted to. And the reason he wanted to know this was because he needed to make sure that he had people in place that would be able to carry out crimes of humanity on the American people, essentially. We have posse comitatus, which says that the U.S. military cannot be used against the people, but that can be suspended during martial law. And I think that's what he was doing. So these Russian troops were being trained to work these guillotines because they see American people as the enemy. They have no moral ties to us. They have no heartstrings attached to us. So they would have no problems clicking the switch and taking off our heads, which, guys, if you're saying that's not even going to be possible, that would never happen here, Well, that's not true because we have the Noahide laws that will be going into place, I'm here very soon. The Noahide laws look like they are the 7 laws. They look like they are biblical, but in reality, they're not. They're Talmud bound. And in the Talmud, it says, well, here, let me pull these up. 7 Noahide laws. Like I said, they look biblical, but they're not.
You know, you mentioned about our military cannot act on American people, but that's not to say they can't train the police to do so.
And that's exactly why we've seen the militarization of the police within the last few years. Absolutely. Absolutely, that's why. Yeah. Here's the Noahide laws, and it says the first one is do not profane God's oneness in any way. You need to acknowledge there's a single God who cares about what we're doing and desires that we take care of his world.
Before you go on, why are they censoring God?
That is, I believe, a Jewish thing, and I've never understood why that they do that. I don't understand. You know, maybe Allah just doesn't like his name to be spelled out. I don't know. Because, yeah, you know, he's not the same God as ours.
Right.
Yeah, so the problem with these Noahide laws is they look like they're biblical. They truly do. The problem with that is that the first one is have no profane God's oneness in any way, which means you cannot, as with the 10 Commandments, you have no other God before me. You know, no images, no idol images. Problem with this is, according to the Talmud, believing in Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, is an idol. If it is idol worship. And what is the punishment?
You will be unalived.
Unalived by beheading. The same thing that we just talked about. Those are coming, guys. They are coming.
For those of you who have not taken a look at this, I'm sure Lori will put that in the description below. Absolutely. Make sure you look at that and take notes. And you're going to see a lot of these laws come into place. I mean, as Lori mentioned yesterday about Islam is becoming the world religion. They're basing those laws from the Noahide laws off of their religion.
Absolutely, we are. Absolutely. You guys did get a chance to see the show that we talked about. This Islam is confirmed. Led by Pope Francis, leaders of the world's religious reformedly adopt human fraternity document in their 7th Congress. I read this yesterday, but I'll read it again because I think it's worth noting. That the adoption this week by the 7th World Religions Congress of the Human Fraternity document created by Pope Francis and the Mohammed bin Zayed, who is the Imam. Islam is now the official one world religion. It's official. Islam is now codified and ratified with the approval of the 7th Congress of the World Leaders of the World and Traditional Religions of the Human Fraternity document created by Pope Francis of the Vatican and financed and promoted by Mohammed bin Zayed of the UAE. Question: guess who they forgot to invite to the festivities? The answer: Jesus Christ. His name appears nowhere and never mentioned. I wonder who the honored guest is then. Well, we know who the honored guest is, and it certainly is not God or Jesus, that's for sure.
I firmly believe that the AC is on this earth, and he is interacting with world leaders right now. That goes to say that he was probably there.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, the fact of the matter is, whether you believe in the Bible or not, it's coming true. This has been predicted 2,000 years ago.
That's
and
right.
Since Jesus is not mentioned, who's going to be the savior? Because everybody's going to be asking for a savior once all these calamities and all these famines and pestilences start occurring in the world, and they're going to turn and look, who is going to save us? We see it in almost every superhero movie. When somebody's in distress, who are they going to call on?
Exactly.
The one that's not Jesus Christ. I can tell you that for sure.
Exactly. Israel has already admitted, the rabbi says they are already holding meetings with the Messiah. Guys, we've told you before, the Messiah that they're waiting for is not our Messiah. Is not. They denounced the Messiah. They denounced him, and they killed him. He was put on the cross. He died, rose on the third day, ascended into heaven, and seated at the right hand of the Father. If you have a religion that teaches you anything other than that, well, I'm sorry, but there is only one road. There's only one path to the Father, and that's through him. That's through Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach. No other way. People that are telling you any different, saying coexist with these other religions, are liars.
That's New Age biblical doctrine right there.
Exactly. Now, don't forget.
The funny thing, well, it's not the funny thing, but it's the most alarming thing is it was those types of people who crucified Jesus on the cross to begin with.
Right.
Don't forget that. There's two different types of Jews. The true biblical Jews with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that has that covenant with our Lord and Savior. And there's the other ones that are in the synagogue of Satan.
Revelation 3:9. That's right. Revelation 2:9 and Revelation 3:9 talks about the synagogue of Satan and these fake Jews. Claim to be Jews, but they're not. They're Zionists, the Khazarian, Ashkenazis. If you guys aren't familiar with the DNA testing that happened in Israel a few years ago, I believe it was Tex Mars. You may want to look him up and look at there was a university that went and did a lot of the DNA testing. You'd be very surprised at the results. Very surprised. And it's funny that the person that is funding this Chrislam creation, the Imam, is also very involved in this Abrahamic family house that's going to be opened up next month in Abu Dhabi. And this is going to be the melding. I would not be surprised within a short period of time, Ernie, that if they didn't take these three buildings and build one right in the middle and have it all combined.
You know, at first I thought the Jewish temple will be built in the middle.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's going to be taking place because they already have the Dome of the Rock, am I correct? And they already have the altar.
Correct.
So
that's an interesting thought. I never really thought about that. Very interesting. Yeah. So everything is falling into place, literally. If you're not familiar with what's his name? Can't even think. Duduman. Dmitry Duduman's prophecy. I have played it here many times on this channel. So, you know, if you're not, go ahead and look for it. I believe it's labeled Duduman prophecy.
Actually, Lori, why don't you play that tomorrow?
You want me to play it tomorrow? I can do that.
I think it's time for everybody to get a refresher course.
I think I just did it a couple months ago. I think, yeah, we can do it again. Excuse me.
Things are accelerating. We got new people here.
That's true. So, you're right. I need to remember that. Absolutely. Exactly. So I'm going to remind I'm just going to throw a couple things up on here. This is something I came across over on the tweets. To those who joke about this, and I do not want to scare people, but a general mobilization, he's talking about Russia here, a general mobilization that includes the entire supply chain basically means a transition to a war economy that changes the entire theater in the region and brings it to a whole other level of aggression. Think about that, guys. What was the German chancellor or whoever that was that made that speech in front of their parliament? What was he talking about that said that the West would always remember what they were doing on September 24th?
Yep. It's all adding up. It's all adding up. I mean, the switching to this type of economy, they're not just going to send all those troops in Ukraine. Don't even think that.
What's this, Ernie?
Compounds in the United States, that Islamist.
These are sleeper cells, guys. These are people that train the sleeper cells to go and when they get called up to start. If you think
don't forget that Islamist nations are backing Russia and China too.
Yep, exactly.
So it had all the money at their disposal.
Yep. Why is that? Because they know they've already got their sleeper cells in our borders. They're here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not too worried about the 24th because I don't believe in date. Here's the thing: is my husband, God bless him, he's called me about literally 20 times today. He's so bored, and he says he's making reference to everybody will know what they're doing on remember what they've done on the 24th. He says I don't like date setters. I don't like people that set dates because they come and they go and nothing ever happens. And I said, absolutely, I completely agree with you, but we've never had a German diplomat making that claim. It's always been somebody very low on the totem pole. People like, I think the only one that comes to mind is Stephen Fisher, but people like that. So
this date was set on that worldwide stage.
Yeah.
For all to hear.
Exactly.
This is as official as it gets.
Exactly. So like I said, I normally would throw it under the rug and be like, I don't believe it. I don't, I'm not even going to entertain the thought of that. But when somebody as high up as he, what did I get sent? Thank you, Vinny. What do I got here? Hello. Hello. What is this? Are these?
Okay, Lori, don't.
Hold on.
Hold on a second, chat. People are sliding into Lori's DMs.
Hold on a minute. I just got sent something. Vinny, are these the Muslim? No, wait. I'm showing my ignorance here, guys. Hold on a second. Okay. These are the number of Jewish temples in the world.
Wow.
Not that I'm just, wow. Look at this, guys.
Why in that specific location where you see the most of them?
And we've heard so much about New York in the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. Look at all of them.
You remember what we're studying right now to present to everyone.
Yes.
Think about it. What is New York in biblical prophecy?
Wow.
And according to the maps that we've been studying.
Very interesting. Okay. Thank you for that,
Babylon.
Vinny. We'll definitely utilize that in an upcoming show for sure. Thank you for that. Wow. Very interesting. I'm going to throw that in.
Jeff got it right.
Babylon. Yes. Yes, exactly. Babylon. I'm sorry. I guess you asked me a question and I didn't answer, did I? Yes, Babylon. Here's something else to throw up here. Oh, I was going to say, the video that we did that I shared with you guys the other day talking about the death of the Queen and how that ties in with iPet Goat and how it started things kind of moving along. Where is it? It's called iPet Goat 2 Queen Elizabeth's Funeral. You can find it on the channel. I would urge you guys to watch that because it actually talks about the 23rd or 24th as well, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Which I thought was quite interesting. I'm trying to find here it is. I want to check this again. I've been checking this for a while. Is this the one? that I want? Nope, that's the wrong one. I need the crap. I don't have them. Did you ever keep the? I got it. Planets today. The planetary alignment that's coming up in just a couple of days. And on the 22nd is the fall equinox. Thursday at 8:05 p.m. my time, Central Standard Time, is when we go into the fall equinox. But look at the planets. They are definitely, ooh, look at that. Ooh. Look at on the 24th. They are straight across. Now, I'm not saying that means anything by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, if
significant events occurred when the planets align.
Yeah,
it happened throughout history.
And the gentleman said that the Western world would always remember where they were on September 24th, and that brought me to people will always remember where they were on Pearl Harbor, the day Kennedy was assassinated, and 9/11. Those are three dates that came to mind that when you ask people, they all know where they were on that day. So are we looking at another FF?
We could be, and it's happening this Saturday.
Yeah. So
4 days, guys.
Exactly.
Get your houses in order.
Get your houses, guys. I know we are by fault of the human species that we are procrastinators, but guys, if you're waiting till tomorrow or the next day or Friday, there is going to come a day. There is going to come a day when you've waited too long and it's too late. Just saying. Don't be caught. Don't be caught without the oil in your lamps. Because that's exactly what will happen.
Don't be caught alone in the soul, too.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a very testing time for your soul.
Exactly.
If you don't have a relationship with the Most High, my suggestion is get to know Him.
That's right.
Because we can have, I'm going to be frank with you, we can have all the prep work and stuff done that we can. But unless you have God in your life, you don't have anything.
Yeah. That is very true, Ernie. And here are the things that I believe or that we are definitely coming into. I think we can pretty much say that each and every one of these are taking hold. We can pinpoint each and every one of these. I'm short. Houses in order.
Yeah. And, we've been talking a couple of days in side chats that earthquakes are starting to ramp up. Yeah. There's nothing on that list that hasn't happened or is already happening.
Yeah. Very, very bad. I was looking at the earthquake in, oh my goodness, where was it? I just looked it up a little while ago. It's an earthquake in, one second, let me pull it up. Papua New Guinea. One of the strongest. It was a 7 something in Papua New Guinea on September 11th. Horrible. Now we've got poor Puerto Rico is getting pounded again with the hurricane. It's headed up to Dominican Republic, and it's horrible. Haiti, which means Haiti's going to get hit again. They're not even over the last time they got hit. It's this weather modification. Guys, it was 89 degrees here today in Chicago. We don't have this kind of heat in September. I've been here 7 years. I've been here 7 years. And this is the worst summer. I might as well be still out in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, things are changing drastically, and I don't know if you guys follow Ryan Hall, y'all. He's one of,
Oh yeah.
in my opinion, one of the best weather people on the internet. He's been predicting this fall is going to be rough.
Yeah.
We haven't
Winter.
seen much hurricanes this summer, but this fall is going to be pretty intense. That hurricane that just hit Puerto Rico is now a major hurricane, and there's one occurring south of Mexico too.
Yep. Yeah. Ryan Hall, y'all, if you're not following him again, he's a fantastic meteorologist. I'll put his link in the description for you guys to follow him over on YouTube. He's always live. That man has saved more lives than I can than he saved so many lives with his broadcasts. I need to have one more thing. All right. Now, before I pull this up on the screen, I just want you to say, you to know, I am well aware this man is an occultist. I am well aware of this man's Hollywood ties. I am well aware of this man's deceptions. Let's just put it that way. And if you watch the video, I'm well aware of his hand signals throwing up the 666. That aside, I cannot dismiss the facts that this man has put in his video talking about the Queen's funeral. I'm not going to play it for you guys, but I would highly suggest you guys watch it. It was very eye-opening for me, considering that we had. Did any of you guys watch the funeral yesterday?
I did not. I wasn't going to be watching that crap and giving them views and money and stuff like that. I don't really watch TV to begin with, so.
Right. Well, my husband had to go for a blood work yesterday, and so we went out to breakfast, and I did watch part of it. Take a look, guys. What do you notice here?
Oh, two things right off the bat. Notice checkerboard floors and upside down cross.
Yeah, an upside down cross. And yeah, exactly. And Russell Brand gets into all of it. Guys, with Russell Brand, as we tell you with all things, take the meat, spit out the bones. Listen to what he's got to say about the Queen, the pomp, the circumstance. So yeah.
And most importantly, too, just pray for him.
Yeah.
Pray that he realizes what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the cost it will be on his soul. I mean, we often forget to do those types of things to celebrities, to people of high importance. I mean, they still have time to repent. So we should be preparing for what's to come, but we also should be praying for them too.
Exactly. Yeah. I just realized I'd scheduled something for Sunday with Eric, but we got Joy coming on with us on Sunday.
We do.
So, so guys, I'm going to put all the links in the description area below. We're going to keep an eye on. And now, if Russia does happen to come live, and we do get confirmation that they're going to play the speech, we'll definitely come live and let you guys know and update you all on that. That is for sure. I do want to remind everybody that on Sunday night, on the 25th, from 8 to 10, we're going to have Joy, Dr. Joy Pugh again with us. And she's going to continue her conversation discussing the Antichrist, talking about the Merovingian bloodline, talking about William. But most importantly, this time we're going to talk about Kate, the Duchess, she's the Princess of Wales now. She's taken over Diana's spot, which I believe is prophetic in itself. And we're going to talk with Joy about that topic. I cannot wait to pick her brain on this.
I'm so excited. That's something. I look forward to talking to her. She's amazing.
She is. She's an amazing woman. Just give you a little bit of, give you a little taste of what we're going to talk about. The term Merovingian is said to be derived from the Merovingi, who was the king of the Franks from 447 to 458 AD. Despite recent claims that the Merovingian Franks were sired by Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene and are therefore divine, the legend of King Merovingi conceals the true origins of the Merovingian race in remote antiquity. According to the legend, as explained by the bloodlines of the Holy Grail, Merovingi had two fathers, King Collidin and the strange beast from the sea. You know that, yeah, you know that they needed Princess Diana, who was a Merovingian by bloodline. They needed her to be saved. She was a virgin when she married Charles, and she birthed William.
You know, beast of the sea. Oh, that's biblical. I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
There you go.
Woo.
And
it gave me goosebumps.
And I think if we look, his reign would be somewhere 710. Might be, you know, his their reign right now. You know, Scotland. I'd have to look at them all. So.
Yeah, I would like to pick her brain about the 7-year tribulation too.
And another thing is, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Because with the rise of the red heifers, I think we just started it.
Yes, I believe that too. And I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I think I mentioned it to Deb, that I feel, or I think I mentioned it in chat. I feel that we need to start concentrating on the 2 witnesses.
Yes.
Nobody's really talking about the 2 witnesses, and I think we maybe should do that.
I'll get started.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. I'm going to put all the links in the description below for you guys. And I do have a ton of them up here, so please give me a little bit of time. Again, tomorrow night, we're going to be over on Rise of the New World Order. Oh, no, I'm sorry, we're not. We're going to be over on Sentinels of Truth tomorrow. Hold on, let me pull this up for you guys. Let me give you a little bit of house cleaning here.
And while you're doing that, Lori, guys, Lori's going to be on vacation. She deserves it, and she's going to be on a well-needed break. I'm going to be on by myself with some cool people. We're going to be discussing some cool things, basically how to prepare yourself in the end times, and going to do things from a biblical perspective as well as a fleshly perspective on what you need to gather, what you need. I can't wait to be able to spend some time with you guys next week, and it'll be my first time by myself, and I promise I won't get Lori fined.
I know you will. And speaking of which, one of the guests is going to be appearing with you, I believe, is
Sentinel of Liberty.
Is he going to be appearing, making an appearance?
That is the plan, and hopefully I can gather up some others to do some roundtables too.
I'd like that. That would be great for you guys. Sentinel of Liberty is also starting his new channel over on YouTube. It's going to be focusing on prepping. It's called the Modern Crusades. I'm going to put the link in the description below. I highly suggest you go over and please give him a sub. Show him some Global Watchman News love. Welcome him to the family of broadcasting. And support him any way you possibly can, just as we are.
Yeah, support my boo.
That's right. Do want to do a special shout out to my brother down under. I want to wish a very happy birthday to Jamie McNichol. I love you so much, brother.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cowboys fan. Wish they suck. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
And many more.
Happy birthday, Jamie. We love you to the moon and back. So, all right, guys, that's all we got for you. We do want to take this opportunity to thank everybody in chat. Want to thank our moderators. And, you know, just because we're putting this information out there, we want to make sure that you do not fear what is coming. There is hope beyond the grave, especially if you are covered in the blood of Jesus. So until next time, guys, we want to wish you well. And remember, Ernie?
Eyes open, no fear.